The following show contains a fictional narrative that includes themes, events, and language that some may find distressing. Discretion is advised.
Welcome back to This Line Isn't Secure. I am your handler, Libby, and this week we will be continuing our journey deep within the impossible landscapes of Delta Green fame. Without further ado, everyone introduce yourselves to our listeners or our watchers.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Ty. You may also know me as Deputy U.S. Marshal Reed Hollis, a.k.a. Agent Millstone. I'm going to hand it on over to Charlie here.
Yes, sir. Charlie's the name. Adam Blackburn's my character, a.k.a. Agent Meridian.
And I am Andy. I am playing FBI forensic psychiatrist Alexander Shoemaker, who goes by Agent Merchant.
Last but not least, I'm Hawk. I'm playing Agent Miranda, Heather Stoddard, a.k.a. Hannah Cardholder, paranoid circuit fixer and persistent number breaker, our household cryptologist and former NSA spook.
Fantastic. And without further ado, let's go to Hawk for the recap.
Absolutely. M-Cell, gathered in their hotel room for the evening, was interrupted at the end of episode 3 by the TV turning on and a strange apparition appearing there. It looked towards the hotel bathroom where the grating noise of shower rings moving could be heard, and in the start of episode 4, Heather burst into the bathroom to investigate, discovering an overused, but still pregnant and heavy with ink, mechanical typewriter ribbon. An impossibility added on top of an impossibility. The group discussed what was and wasn't possible here. A person inside the TV seeming to hear things happening in the room next to them, an object appearing out of nowhere. The various strange events that had been percolating throughout their day since they had arrived at the McAllister. They dealt with it in their own ways, some collapsing in bed early, while Millstone drifted to the bar to drown some of his thoughts, and Meridian traveled across the city to a hidden and covert locker holding a heavy duffel bag with strange objects inside. The next morning, the group, over breakfast at the hotel, discussed their plan. They would meet first at the McAllister to make sure that everything was as it should be before splitting up, with Merchant and Millstone looking into the objects still within the apartment they were there, supposedly to investigate, while Miranda and Meridian investigated some of the other leads they had around the city, the Mercury Gallery, Abigail's family, any other leads they could find around all of Manhattan. As Merchant and Millstone painstakingly cataloged the thousands of objects, epoxied and adhered to the walls under a thick layer of strange material, they found a map, an unfamiliar map on unfamiliar paper for a place called the Brothel Bin. This, for whatever reason, stuck in their minds, and they took that map with them as they went to meet with the others at lunch. While they were busy cataloging, Miranda and Meridian at the Mercury interviewed the gallerist, a gal who had the gall to give them the runaround for a while until Miranda convinced her she had a wealthy benefactor backing her, one who was interested in buying some of the works from Abigail's recent show. The gallerist explained that Abigail's work, though disturbing, drew a lot of admirers. All of her pieces had sold by that point. Thomas Manuel was known to the gallerist and was considered to be something less of an artist. His work was derided as derivative, and his constant protestations that he was working on a masterpiece that was never really produced meant that no one really believed in him much as an artist. After a brief stop by the filming location for the classic comedy sci-fi flick Ghostbusters, the group gathered back at a deli near the McAllister for lunch and to compare notes. While there, they were distracted when Merchant picked up and found a newspaper purporting not to be from that day, but from a few days later on the 14th. On the cover of that newspaper, a photo of 4 government agents, a woman and 3 gentlemen, who were supposed to have burnt to death in a fire at the McAllister on the 13th. Those people, MCell, 13th, just a few days away.
Very spooky.
Nice. Very good.
That is how we do it.
All right, folks. So we are currently at the Delicatessen, Martin's Delicatessen, a short distance from the McAllister. You've each seen and had this experience with the newspaper that had a photo of you from right now and detailed, or at least mentioned, your upcoming deaths. I imagine that some of you are pretty shaken. Certainly, I know that Merchant is. What are we going to do now? Where are we moving from here?
I think that Adam would be looking around to see if there's any photographers. If this picture was taken and we were all sitting, I guess, in the same spots, somebody's got to be around here. Shots don't just happen to be taken.
I believe you have the highest alertness in the group at 80.
Yes, 80, yeah.
So yeah, you take a look around, no need to roll, you take a look around. You are certain that if there was a person who were taking a photograph that was as detailed as the one in the newspaper is, you would see them. There's no two ways about that. Not only because you have superior alertness, but it's not really that unclear what angle this was shot from, which seems to be the middle of the street, of the road that's right near you. So it certainly would have been very visible to you. Even if you had missed them taking the photo, you were certain you would have seen a human running with a camera, or really anything. I think that Meridian would see someone running and probably have alarm bells start kind of going off in his brain based on his past. So yeah, this person just really, it's not possible that they are there. Go ahead and roll sand for me. This will be sand from helplessness. Or I guess the unnatural, either one, I don't really.
Yeah.
I guess the unnatural is more correct.
87, that's not a win.
Okay, you lose 1 sand.
Something ain't right.
Yeah, it's not a CCTV camera. The photo quality is too high. This is a professional photo by everything I can tell, but no sign of a professional photographer.
Even if there was, there is no way you can take that photo and get it printed in a newspaper in a matter of seconds, right? This is now.
Yeah.
Just like the tapes we were listening to were now.
It's a third or fourth impossible thing. We're approaching, I don't know, a kind of intellectual Rubicon beyond which we can't allow ourselves to simply be aghast at every impossible thing we encounter, because it seems to me like we are destined to see far too many of them to allow ourselves to be amazed at anything.
Merchant would jab his finger into the picture and say, "We are destined to die in 2 days."
Well, I don't know that follows. We've seen a lot of strange things, and this paper, what we know is it's here now, and that it purports to tell this story, but I don't know that the paper is predictive. I don't know that it's not. I can only say that it is here, and that alone is impossible. If this isn't the first time a government operation has been shrouded by horrible things, shadowed by strange things, and if it does end in the McAllister burning down with a team inside it, it won't be the first time that's happened to a team either.
Agent Meridian will rattle his throat a little bit as he hears these confessions from Agent Miranda. Sorry.
Merchant will grab the paper and read the article, kind of blocking other things out and just seeing, like, is the article, is it coherent? Is it, just a bunch of Latin phrases?
Meanwhile, this whole time, Millstone's over at the machine, whatever the closest newspaper dispenser is, whether that be inside of the establishment or outside, and he is looking for more copies of it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, to first address Merchant, the article from what you saw when you looked at it, a minute ago or so, the headline over the photograph is there just as it says. It's printed in big black ink. But once you look at the details about the article, which don't appear to be at surface level anything special, looks like, normal sentences and words and all that jazz. When you read it, you realize that it's a recipe for some kind of food. Looks like probably some kind of like bread or biscuit based on the recipe. It's very stark. You're going to lose some sanity, I think, because, again, from a distance, it certainly looks like a normal article, but when you're reading it, it's 1 cup milk, 2 eggs, shaved butter. Reed, you look around for any newspaper dispensers, as I think they're called, to see if you can get any papers from around here. As you're looking around, you find one that is empty, another is empty, and one of the waiters sees you frantically looking for a newspaper. He says, "Hey man, you okay? You need something? I mean, you're looking for newspapers right now pretty frantically. I don't think I've ever seen somebody. Are you a guest here, or
is it against the law to look frantically, as you say, for newspapers? I want to read the news. I mean, do you have any more? You got some in the back?"
No. We didn't get a delivery today. There was none. I don't know. I think it's that the truck broke down or something like that. We just didn't get our shipment in. I don't know. I think it'll be here a little bit. They said it'd be kind of late today because of something.
All right.
Miranda is she had mentioned closed circuit TV cameras a moment ago, and she's actually going to take a look around and see if the deli has any security cameras. I'm not super up on, I know they had them in 1995, but I don't know how widespread they would have been, and there certainly weren't like police surveillance cameras around at that point.
I don't think that there are many cameras here in the delicatessen. Surrounding areas, probably very few, and the idea that those would be accessible, or rather would have a good view of this area is not zero, but not super high.
Yeah. Well, she does her little checks, sees that there are none here, and I think, this is one of those things where there's no world in which she is going to be able to get an easy answer for this. So she just it feels very much like one of those situations where you are just forced to shrug and move forward. Like, what can you do? Something has appeared with no explanation for its provenance, but there's she could interview the guy behind the counter, but he seems to be uncurious about the whole situation. So to her, this is one of those things that added to the list of horrible things happening, and try to move forward on the things you can actually interact with, not the ones that are following you like some horrific specter.
There's nobody around here. There's no photographers, no journalists, no nothing. I don't know how they could have taken this shot. I didn't see nobody.
Is fucked up on a level that I didn't know existed, actually.
In looking at the paper, at first I thought it was some kind of predictive element, and there might be something to that, but there's nothing actually to this text. There's nothing to substantiate. It feels more warning-y than anything, because look at the text. It doesn't say anything about what's going to happen. It's not an actual newspaper.
Yeah, but what the fuck is warning us, man? That's the question. I mean, everything from the moment I stepped foot into that park has felt like a warning. The fucking clown. You all saw the clown, right?
Yeah.
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 From the moment we became involved, I was seeing weird shit even before that. From the moment I became consciously aware of this assignment, weird shit's been happening. What is able to give warnings on that level?
I don't know.
Something impossible. And I guess we're the ones who have to deal with impossible things. So,
well, whatever it is, it's maybe centered at the McAllister. So
I think that's correct.
We go back to the McAllister. I mean, it's kind of funny. how that's where my mind goes, right? Immediately just like, well, got to get back to work because it's work.
It's the only way out is through.
Everybody
Go
done
hide
with
at
their
the
food.
hotel and it shows up there too.
It's like a fucking disease. Maybe we can kill it. Maybe we can.
Maybe that's why they call them vectors. In my interviews, they always call them vectors.
Yeah. It's a nice way to depersonalize things, isn't it?
They like to pretend there's a science to all this.
Yeah. Because a vector can be a place, a vector can be anything. It can be
A vector can be
we're
contained.
vectors.
Vectors can be quarantined, isolated, sanitized.
And if need be, disposed of.
Yeah. But as you said, it's time to get back to work, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Kind of check with everybody, see if they're done with their food, and head back to the McAllister.
You finish up the bits of lunch that remain. The food's satisfying, but certainly the entertainment was not satisfying. You make your way back to the McAllister. Noonday sun shining bright. It definitely provides some amount of confidence and hope and energy, but at the same time, it's the middle of the day and you are just touched by whatever is going on here, presumably. So only so much confidence and hope.
Does Miranda try to lift our spirits by regaling us with tales of the Ghostbusters headquarters?
No, she does not mention that she took Meridian off reservation to go look at the Ghostbusters headquarters.
That's
Darn it.
Meridian's little secret.
Super, you make it back to the McAllister. It is still there. Its consistency providing no comfort. Make it back to Abigail's room, and the world is your oyster, players. What would you like to do now?
Reed's gonna grab a camera and just get back to fucking work. Cataloging.
Merchant will start by cataloging the newspaper as a piece of evidence and writing where it came from and all of that, and then get back to working the crime scene.
As much as Miranda would really like to investigate some of the leads outside of the McAllister, when she notices Meridian poking around, looking at the list of folks on the mailboxes, she walks up to him and says, "Do you think we should do some background interviews, Meridian?
That could be
See what
useful.
the other neighbors are up to?"
Yeah, that could be useful. But I don't like talking.
It's okay. Sometimes not talking is just as good.
Do you think that Meridian would perhaps invite Miranda to the basement first?
Yeah, before everything else.
There's enough odd stuff with the phones, and I just want to make sure we're not sitting on top of frankly, a fire trap based on the newspaper. So
Okay,
we'll take a look.
Got it. We'll go with Meridian and Miranda first, and then we'll pick up with Merchant and Millstone. So you move down to the basement downstairs. The building still showing its penchant for poor smells and poor decoration. You make your way down a set of stairs that are very, very concrete and would hurt very much to stub a toe on, and open the creaky wooden door to the basement. You moving down, you can see that there is these kind of cages. Is it an okay word to use? They're chain link fence storage areas. Each has a lock on it. There's a middle row to access on your left and right, and each one has an enamel number that has been metal zip tied to the cage, so you can tell whose is whose. All of the storage units are vacant, with the exception of the one that is for Manuel's apartment. His is not only filled with things, but unlocked. You don't see anything else immediately down here. There are certainly no other exits that you can see. Would you like to investigate Manuel's storage area?
Yeah, let's
Yes, please.
take a look, Meridian. You know how to get into something like this without making a mess?
Yeah, you open the door.
I don't know. I'm a little paranoid at the moment. Tripwires, locks.
Fair enough, yeah.
Let's poke it a little bit before we do that.
Yeah, okay. Especially
The,
this guy's a bit paranoid.
Yeah. He
cage door is open a little bit, not just unlocked, open a little bit. And there's a lock hanging on the cage, as if that's where it could store, but it's not locked. There's no apparent tripwires. Meridian, you can take certainly a good look with the alertness that you have, and you don't see anything that is concerning to you. Inside, as you get closer, however, you do see that there is, it looks like this room, or this cage area, is the size of 2 cages. It seems like the fence partitioning this one and the next apartment storage space has been taken down, and this one has been made into a little bit bigger of a space. It's still not spacious, but it's now feasible to sit in and not be uncomfortable. As you near, you also smell oils and like paint thinner and see a bunch of canvases. You see an easel. As you mosey inside, you can see that there is a couple of paintings that are facing outward. You can see the subject matter, the content on the painting. There are large buckets that are stacked. You're not sure what's in them. And then a larger canvas that has been draped and leaned against the corner of this area, this little room.
So this is where he's painting.
Seems like it. Wonder if Abigail had a studio here at one point. I'll take a look at the canvases. Why don't you go through the equipment, see if there's anything out of sorts.
All right.
Meridian, you looking through the equipment, you see that there is a paint palette, an easel, a bunch of brushes, and since Libby's not really sure what kind of other painting things exist in a painting space, it's got all those too. There's nothing
of paint stripper, a highly volatile, inflammable accelerant, perhaps?
Nice. There is that. There's also, as you go up to these large buckets that are stacked, they have a large label on them that says linseed oil. Linseed oil is, I believe, a thing that painters use to either prepare or to weather purposefully paintings, but certainly it is not outside the realm of something that an artist would have in their painting space. It's usable by painters. There is a note taped to them, a small post-it note looking thing, that says, "For Sammy pickup." There is not much else to do with the painting materials or tools. Miranda, as you go over to the paintings that are leaned face outward so you can see their content, one of them is a painting of a child-sized clown in yellow and blue cavorting on a stage, trailing a white paper dragon. This is certainly the same clown and dragon that you saw in Washington Square Park. I don't necessarily think you're going to roll sand because certainly Manuel lives close enough to this park. He could have seen the clown and found it decent painting fodder. That said, it is certainly creepy in more ways than just a clown. You've seen this before. Seems certainly pertinent. Another painting is looks like a white-faced specter, so like a humanoid kind of figure standing on a rug at the top of stairs in the midst of a conflagration, a large fire. The rug has a special detail and time and effort put into it. The rug is a very rich and almost incandescent teal. It's distracting from the rest of this pretty viscerally imaged piece of art. Finally, the last is a young, thin man with wispy hair, wispy thinning blonde hair. He's in a hospital jumper, like a hospital suit, and he is looking into a mirror and is duplicated in that mirror. It seems, though, that his twin has a very odd, deformed, misshapen head. He does not. His reflection does. The only other painting, there's a bunch of blank canvases, obviously. The only other one that is notable is that there's one leaned against the corner that's a larger painting, has a tarp over it, or some kind of, a tarp over it. I would imagine that the two of you kind of each do your investigations. Doesn't take you super long to kind of look a couple things over, and perhaps now you come back. You meet again, once again.
It looks like he has a bit of an interest in some of the same material that Abigail did. Clowns in particular, a familiar one, the one we saw over in the park.
Yeah. Fucking hate clowns. What's that other thing? That white guy.
I mean, if you really want me to go into it, there are a variety of clowns throughout history. The white-faced clown is not uncommon, and in France in particular, there's a stock character called Pierre Lunaire who shows up in a bunch of stuff, who is a kind of white-faced, sad, and miserable clown. There's actually there's a German composer who did a kind of opera about him as well. Sorry, my dad used to drag me to all these museums and shit.
That's cool. That's cool.
Frankly, not what I would call disturbing material unless you are particularly afraid of clowns, and I would have to agree with the Mercury's assessment. It's rather uninspired. Anything unusual among his kit?
Oh, like that fire.
Yeah, it's unnerving, I guess. But on the other hand, I don't know what we could possibly do about or with it, you know?
I mean, if there's anything flammable here, we need to take it out, that's for sure. Don't want to give any chances for any fires, any quotations, any fires to break here.
Sure. I mean, paint thinner is a notorious accelerant. That linseed oil will go up if you give it a chance, I bet. I'm going to take a second and poke around a little bit and see if there's any issues with the wiring and all that, but I don't think there's much else down here. Just a kind of sad studio by someone who's maybe not as talented as I think they are.
The wiring, for what it's worth, inside of this studio area is comprised of really the single overhead light that illuminates the storage unit. There's nothing to be said about it. It's shoddy, as is everyone here.
Okay, yeah. Place isn't exactly the most safe, but I don't think it is destined to imminently go up in flames any more than any other shitty old building. Let's get out of here and check in with the neighbors. I don't need any more of this. I'm starting to get a headache from the fumes down here anyway. I'd nip into the apartment, say, kind of sad down in the basement. Paintings of clowns, a fire, not very well made. We're going to interview some of the neighbors. Merchant, that's kind of your, if you want to, I can take over for you and you can take Meridian and go check in with some of the neighbors and see if they've got any thoughts on the situation.
Yeah, I could use to be out of the room for a little bit.
Sounds good.
You do a nice easy handoff, or as easy as it can be, and you are now Merchant and Meridian. Where would you like to go?
So who do you go first, pretty boy?
Can't argue with first one we get to. First one who opens the door.
There is, Karun is on this level in 3A, so you could certainly, he's the closest.
Then that is where we head.
All right. You walk down the hall. Karun's room is pretty close, down on the right, or the left rather. And when you arrive, I assume that you knock on the door. Do you want to say anything or ring the doorbell? What would you prefer?
I'll knock.
You hear a coming. You hear the sound of feet on the wood floor, the tile floor slapping. And in pretty short order, the door, you hear the deadbolt, and then the door opens. Inside the room, he looks like the definition of a human that has just almost got it right. So close to getting it right. He's got a decent set of clothes on that match and look fine, but they're certainly not what he could be wearing. They're a little bit drab, but maybe faded. His hair is combed, but a cowlick is absolutely throwing chaos and havoc onto his head such that it's pretty hard to see. His glasses, one lens is clean and crisp, the other is got a bunch of fingerprints and is a little bit muddy to look at. He seems generally disheveled, but not unfriendly. He answers and says, hi there. Are you folks, we hear about Abigail?
Lucky guess. FBI Special Agent Edmund Chamberlain.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm Roger. Puts his hand out.
Merchant will shake it. May we come in, sir?
Yeah, is this guy with you, or he's kind of?
Yes, this is my associate. He's a little shy.
Yeah.
Agent Baudelaire.
Oh, wow. How exotic. Hand it to you. Do you shake his hand?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, all right. He shakes your
A
hand.
very firm shake.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. He invites you in. Inside, it is clear that this man is, again, just trying so hard to get it right. He's got dirty plates and laundry. They're not obtrusive or really that smelly. They're just a little bit over the top of the sink. The laundry's in piles in places. It doesn't look to be that dirty. Certainly, it's not uninviting, but it's probably not inviting either. The general view of somebody who is perhaps a bachelor and perhaps doesn't have many visitors in general. He offers you to sit down on his couch, which does have a plastic cover on it. He sits in a much more worn recliner. There is an aged word processor on a little table next to him that is seemingly running. He says, "Yeah, I talked to the police a bunch already, and they basically know what's going on. But I'm happy to help out. I mean, she was Ray was a lovely girl. I mean, really nice, good to be around. Yeah, very nice. Yeah. How can I help? What questions do you have?"
Yes, thank you. I am interested in what do you know about her work and what she was working on when she disappeared?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. She's always been quiet and always been cordial and nice. When we met at the mailbox, or if she was going out for a walk or something, we were always friends, always good. Never much of a problem with her. The only thing that happened that really I think I was a little bit perturbed about was a New Year's party that she had in 1994. And that party was a little loud, but that was it. We didn't speak much. Passing the halls. I didn't know what she was up to. If that's what you're asking, I don't know. I stick to myself pretty well, as you know.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about you.
Yeah. Leans back in the chair. Yeah, well, I mean, you may have heard of a book that I've written, and he reaches down to a stack of novels that's gathered some dust and picks it up. Yeah, I'm the author of the Nightsea books. Go ahead and each of you roll luck for me.
26.
The passing you've heard of this book. It's a sci-fi series. Nothing that is groundbreaking and New York Times bestseller, but certainly one that's in Barnes & Noble. And did fine. He's an author of some acclaim, not big acclaim. Yeah, so I've written the Nightsea books, I mean, I really just do my writing here. I'm trying to, meet deadlines. You know how those publishers are, don't I? Meet deadlines, and it's tough. It's they're busy. They're busy, and I'm busy. So, but yeah, I don't have much to say about myself other than that. That's kind of been my life's work, just being an author.
What's your current book about?
Well, you understand, I can't reveal that. I don't want the publisher to get all crazy on me. You have to sign an NDA, and I don't know you very well. I trust you. You're an FBI guy, but no.
It won't make it. It won't make it to my official report. I close my little notepad, push it on the table. Your secret's safe with me.
We'll forego a human troll since it is so damn high. And he says, "Well, this one is kind of a departure from the usual for me, but it's a child's fairy tale." Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's certainly not what I usually do, but I got some inspiration in a place I didn't think I'd get it, and ran with it. I ran with it.
So, what would inspire a great science fiction author to make such a change?
Well, I'll be honest. I had a dream. And the dream was all about going places and doing things and seeing people, and the joy in it all really awakened something within me, and I figured it was the time to branch out a little bit and utilize some of that emotional inspiration that I got. I'm not a big fan on emotion. I'm a pretty black and white kind of guy, but this was a lot to think about, a lot to mull over.
Yes, many people have very compelling dreams, especially dreams of travel. Usually kind of opens something of the soul to travel. Who do they see? Who do they not see? Are they headed towards something? Are they headed away from something? That's all those are such rich reservoirs with which to draw to create art.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. I mean, I just had the one dream, and it was kind of interesting, but that sounds pleasant. I bet I believe in dreams just about as much as that guy does right there. And he points over at Meridian. How often do you take those dreams to mean much there, big guy?
I don't like those dreams that I have sometimes, sir.
I'm with you. So anything else? I don't mean to kick you out. I'm perfectly happy to have visitors over. I don't get many, but...
Of course.
My publisher's on my back.
One more question. Do you know much about the relationship between Abigail and Thomas, your other neighbor?
Yeah. Thomas and I are on speaking terms, certainly. He's a good acquaintance and just kind of like the same, I'm not the kind of guy that does a lot of interaction, as I mentioned before. But from all I've seen, the two of them operate fine together. I think maybe the kid has a little crush on her. I don't know. I left my wife 15 years ago, and damn it, I've been the happiest I've ever been. I'm doing well, but if they have a thing, I don't know. I think it's mostly on his side, not on Abigail's side. But again, what do I know? I'm just a lonely author.
What about your other neighbors? You know them very well?
I don't. Well, it depends on what you mean. I've spoken to Manuel and to Ride and to Post, the younger boy. I haven't spoken to Van Fitz. I remember that when I first moved in here, I didn't hold the door for her, and she screamed at me about the patriarchy and how I was trash.
So I know who to look out for.
She's certainly a fine lady, but not my kind of company.
All right.
While they're talking, do I notice anything off? Alertness of 60.
Yeah. You do not notice anything off, and neither does Meridian. Both of you, again, the main thing you're noticing is it's a bachelor's apartment that's kind of messy. There's nothing really out of place here that you can tell. If you'd like to roll Humant on Karun, I'd be happy to give you some information, Merchant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 37 under 70.
Great. He seems like many folks who are creative to be in a bout of creativity. And while he likes having you around, certainly he would like it if you left now and he could get back to the spurt of creativity he can capitalize on.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, thank you so much for having us. And
yes, of course.
For the information. It's incredibly helpful in our investigation.
Yeah. Come
we'll
back
just
anytime.
be on our way. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. And he
good
stands up
luck
and,
on the book.
Thanks.
I hope this change is something that's really helpful for you.
Thank you. He walks you to the door and he's like, I know you didn't sign the NDA, but you were an awful kind man. The name of the book. Let me know what you think. Do you have any kids? Do you have kids? Do you know if they'd...
I do.
You do? Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, well, okay. How about you, big guy? Looks at Meridian.
Yeah, I got a girlfriend.
Didn't answer the question, but that's all right. That's okay. Maybe you're around kids or something. I don't want to go there. Oh, anyway, so yeah, I'll show it to you then. And he a little book, a little like notepad, one of the flip notepads out of his pocket. The name of the book is, and he flips it open, The Little Red Book. The small red book. I can't decide.
Small red book.
Little, small, tiny, but minuscule, but small. Certainly small. Small red. I want to make it not seem very daunting. I want to make it seem readable, shareable.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The small red book, the little red book.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Little Red Riding Hood.
I
don't know.
That's good. I didn't think
ride that
That's
way?
fantastic. Yes.
Yeah.
Come back whenever you want. I mean, and you too. He points at Meridian. You too. But I'd be happy to get your opinions. It seems like you've got a knack for something there.
I can't wait to read it to my kids.
Boy, oh boy. Neither can I. There, you both get goosebumps. For no good reason. He steps back into his apartment, waves and says his goodbyes as you closes the door and the deadbolt latches.
That got kind of weird at the end.
Yeah. It's, I don't like him very much. Don't know why.
I mean, it's kind of a thing with you, not liking people.
Yeah. We'll get around that eventually.
Sounds fascinating. But for now, should we meet up or just keep hitting up more neighbors?
I'll once again say if we want to have some RP between Millstone and Miranda, if we do, I'm happy to go there. Otherwise, we'll cut back. This is a hard process, a long process. There's nothing really that makes it any faster. It's just going to take brunt force to look through all this shit.
Yep. Miranda has finished part of the grid. Whatever merchant's system is, I think there are little, I don't know, Andy, let me know if this is wrong. Maybe there are little paper flags laying out a gridded area or something to keep it a little organized about what you're going through, and take a photo, write everything down, note anything important. And she's finished one of these foot by foot squares of wall. And she pauses and she looks at it, and she glances over at Millstone and sees that he is, in the middle of doing the same. She sort of sighs and just sort of looks around the room, and she pauses because she notices something that she hadn't seen before, which is that one of jutting out of the resin or the adhesive or whatever is gluing this massive stuff to the wall is an alarm clock, a bedside alarm clock. And it's flashing, and she sees it and she shudders and goes, "Oh, I fucking hate this, man."
What you got?
Just the clock. It's another thing that shouldn't be I can see it's plugged in, so at least it's not fucking operating against the laws of electricity. But when these clocks reset, they're supposed to go to midnight, or some of them do that 88 thing. But look, this one is stuck on 2:33 p.m. And already that's a little weird, right? But I'm thinking about it, and I remember now. I was back. So I work at this store right across town.
Yeah.
It's a junk store, really, electronics, junks, all that stuff, Radio Shack, but your neighborhood version of that, whatever that means.
Mom and pop Radio Shack, got it.
Yeah, mom, less of the mom these days, but
I'm sorry.
It's all right. She wasn't really ever around. It was a couple days ago, and I noticed that we had this line item in the ledger for a bunch of items that the other guy, Max, who works at the shop, he had gone through and he'd marked all of this shit at the shop with a pickup date. We have it says, we have a description of the item, what the problem is, when it was dropped off, and what the pickup date is. And for all of them, he had written longhand, never. I remember that because he has all this fucking shorthand. It's the most annoying thing in the fucking world. He thinks he's so efficient. But anyway, I'm thinking to myself, that's fucking weird. I go looking for them, and I found a whole ass box of not just clocks and watches, but there was a microwave in there. One of those those plastic, the shitty plastic games you can buy, the fuck, I don't know, some kids thing, and all of them were fucking stuck, cracked, broken, whatever, on 233. Weirdest fucking thing, man.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
And now I'm thinking about it more, and it's how much of my fucking life have I just not noticed this shit happening? Did I just get up and ignore the fact that there was a newspaper on the table next to me that had some fucking cryptic bullshit in it? This whole thing makes you question every single day of your life previously and look at it and say okay, at the time I thought that was it was a weird coincidence. And now I'm thinking is it all connected to whatever's happening here? And that's impossible, right? But
I mean, maybe someone just wants us
today
to think that way. I don't know. I mean, maybe you're looking for stuff now.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
that you want to see it. I mean, not want to see it. No one wants to see it.
No, but I do want to see it. That's the fucked up thing, man. Because here's the thing. If you notice one fucked up thing, you can explain it away. Two fucked up things is now an impossible pattern. But if enough fucked up, impossible things happen, then we're cooking with gas. Because you can construct some kind of fucking idea about why it's happening, right? And if every fucked up thing in my life all comes back to this apartment, well, that just means this apartment is, I don't know, some kind of fucking psychic black hole. And I can live with that because then you can explain it. If you only see 2 fucked up things, that's the worst place you can be, man. Because then it's an intrusion with no explanation.
I would.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking.
I would encourage you to maybe try not to think too hard. You know.
Yeah.
Even if you're not thinking hard enough, think maybe think less. Might do you some good.
Probably.
And that's not a mark against you. I mean, you're clearly very intelligent, but you know.
No, I get it. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You got anything aside from freaky alarm clock?
I mean, this square has it has the back cover of what I think is a Playboy in it, but I can't really tell. It's got a little bit of a serial number on it, so I'm gonna look it up in later today.
All right.
Other than that, it's just crap stuck to a wall.
Read at about this time, and when you're about to answer and give your portion of what you found, you see that there's what looks to be a book on the wall that is notable probably because it's very weathered and one of the only full books here on the wall. It's a hardcover book, and it looks like it's been nailed with a couple of very large nails to the wall. The cover is not nailed, or it's ripped through, so you can see the first page of what's on the book. And as you look at the book, you see on the first page that it has a script on it. It's certainly not, it's not common for the title page of any book to have a script on it, even if it's a script or a play. But the first page has a script on it. Maybe if you open it a little more, you could see that there's actually just a single typed stage direction on it. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I mean, Reed's just been sitting kind of cross-legged on the floor this whole time, and he's been looking up at Miranda, you know, back and forth between the wall this whole time, and he's just gonna kind of tilt the cover open.
It says,
while he's still, you know, feigning attention.
It says, "A hush falls over the audience. The actors pause. They've built rapport, and they have read the next line. You then feel breeze pass by you as if somebody ran behind you.
Reed's
If no one running.
Know, double around and check for someone. And there's nothing there.
Only Miranda at this point, looking at you, maybe concerned.
Do you feel that?
Nah, man, it's fucking. I feel myself fucking sweating to death. But other than that, nah, I don't feel shit.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. So never mind. Reed's gonna kind of just turn back to what he's doing and see if he can get that page turned to the next.
Okay. There's no way. The only way you could do that is if you could somehow remove the nails, and that would be a difficult task to do while maintaining the integrity of the pages. You get something. You would have something off the wall, but it would be pretty tough to read.
I couldn't just rip the first page off?
You mean the page you read?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Yes, you can.
Okay. I do that.
Okay. You have it. The page behind it is blank.
All right.
Cutting back out to Meridian and Merchant. The two of you have just interviewed a kind, awkward, perhaps strange and creepy man, Mr. Karoon. Would you like to do another interview or do something else?
So yeah, we'll go see L Post first.
Okay.
I want to see Van Fitz too. Not yet.
Sure. You want to have preparation. You're going to be ready for whatever
mentally,
is.
Getting mentally
tough.
ready.
Got it. Okay. All right. You make your way to the first floor, the one above the ground floor, that is, and to apartment 4A. This hallway seems to be less traveled. Nothing else is different about it. Merchant, do you want to knock, ring the doorbell, say something?
We'll knock.
Okie doke. You hear a very quiet, "I'm coming," as you hear walking and not running this time. The door opens, and behind it is a young man, probably a young white man, probably in his mid-20s, maybe late 20s. He's got hair that looks agreeable and fine, a very basic set of clothes on, and he's got the door by both hands, like kind of like holding it and then peeking his head around the corner in a way that is not common for door opening that you have experienced as an adult. He says, yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Special Agent Edmund Chamberlain. I'm here with the FBI.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hi. I'm Lewis. Lewis. I'm Lewis. He
Lewis.
lets go of the door in the awkward way and now comes in the gap a little more, opens it a little bit farther. You can see briefly inside that there's some pizza boxes on the ground and dirty clothes and a lot less nice than I think you've seen yet.
Lewis, great to meet you. Merchant will shake his hand. This is my associate.
Agent Baudelaire.
Hey, man. Hey.
Were we interrupting something, sir?
Oh, no. I mean, I'm not busy. No. You can come in. You can come in if you want. You can come in. He opens the door a little bit farther. Merchant, the read you're getting here is not in the middle of committing a crime. The read you're getting here is he is a very awkward human. Doubtful he's ever had guests, much less the FBI.
Right.
Yeah, you can come in. Opens the door.
Thank you. Steps over the pizza box right next to the door and
noticing it for the first time, he says, "Oh." Bends down. Sorry. Picks it up. Puts it on the counter next to the other pizza boxes and ramen that are opened on the counter. Yeah. Follow me. Come on in the living room. Walks you inside, and inside he's got not much else is of note as you're walking in there. He's got, again, this is like a bachelor's apartment, but it's in a lot of disrepair. He's kind of just stopped trying. You wouldn't be surprised if he has like a depressive streak or some other thing that's keeping him down, so to speak. And so that, paired with the creativity that he may have as an artist, is likely the thing contributing to his not great look. His apartment, that is. Yeah. Brings you in the living room. He has a love seat and another love seat. He has two love seats. The one he sits on and then the one that the two of you could sit on would mean that you would be sharing a lot of space with each other, probably touching thigh with each other, Meridian and Merchant. Would you sit there? Would you both sit there? Would you crisscross applesauce?
No, I'd probably be still standing.
Okay.
Well, Merchant will sit down.
About Abigail.
You got it.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about Abigail and her behavior before her disappearance?
Her apartment is it's downstairs, right under my apartment, downstairs. And I never saw her. I mean, I saw her, but I didn't look for her. You know what I mean? I didn't see her very much.
Did you interact at all?
I don't think so. Lying it's not perjury, right?
It's not, but one could generously call it obstruction.
Oh, yeah, no. I wouldn't lie. I just wanted to.
Just hypothetically, if you were lying to me, I could, say you're obstructing our case, and I mean hypothetically, that would put you on a list of people of interest.
He's
but you're not a liar.
He's chewing his lip. Yeah, no. No, I would not. No, and I liked her. I saw her. When I saw her, I liked her. Not in that way. She was fine.
Sounds reasonable.
Look, I'm sorry. I don't have visitors. When the police investigated me a bunch because they thought I did something, I don't know how to communicate well. I'm not a bad guy.
You're doing fine.
Thanks.
It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I've been to 1,000 of these doesn't mean you have.
Yeah.
All we're doing is we're asking questions about her. I don't have you on a list of suspects who've done anything.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good because I haven't.
Yeah, of course not.
Right.
You're working on something. Tell me what you're working on. It looks like you're in the thick of it. You're trying to. You're an artist too, just like she is.
Yeah. personal pursuits. I'm not very good at deadlines, and so I'm trying to find a way to get my work out to people.
What
is
do you
your
do?
work?
Well, I usually draw. I do charcoal and some pen work sometimes.
Did you ever collaborate with Abigail and with her painting and your charcoal drawing?
No. She's way more mainstream. I mean, she. Plus, I don't like colors. They're too confusing. I like having. I want to know what I'm doing. I don't want to guess at what's going to happen when I put my pens together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can I see some of your work?
No.
Okay.
Roll human.
Yeah, that would be a 3.
Out of your 1 million human? Yeah, that seems
Under 70. Yeah.
Yeah. He's obviously telling the truth that you're not going to see it.
Right.
Doesn't seem like this guy is hard to understand. You're only getting here because you that's what you do. The reason he's not going to show you is not because he doesn't want to. When he said no as stringently as he did, as stridently as he did, he means he doesn't have anything to show you. He has nothing to show you. He clarifies further by saying, I burned it, okay? It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. And so I burned it. I burned it. And you see he's now drawing into himself a little further. I burned it, and I don't know.
Just purged it. Fresh start. Try again.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes you just have to go scorched earth, Start over.
Yeah. What didn't you like about it?
Well, I don't know. It wasn't. That's it. It just wasn't, Hers was. And Karoon's usually is enough. I don't think Van Fitz needs anything except their fucking echo chamber. So, I don't know. This wasn't.
Where'd you burn it?
The garbage bin.
Here?
Yeah. Not in my apartment. I took it outside, burned it in the dumpster.
Do you know anything about her relationship with anyone else in the building? Or if maybe with your apartment being right above hers, did you see new guests coming? Was she taking visitors?
No, I only saw her every so often when I was looking out the window. But I don't look out the window very often. So maybe once or twice a month at most. I didn't really hardly notice she was gone until the cop showed up.
Mm-hmm. That can be really hard.
Yeah.
Hey, and keep your chin up. Keep trying to produce something that's true, something authentic to you.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see it in a gallery someday.
He stands up.
Yep.
I want you to leave.
Hey.
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Okay.
We have no further questions.
Cool. Walks you to the front door. Thanks. Thanks.
Have a good day, sir.
Okay. Closes the door. Locks it.
Well, we got one left. Van Fitz.
Yeah, what did you notice about him?
He's not likable. But then again, I don't like many people.
Yeah, I think we established that one. You're very self-reflective. I appreciate that. And what else did you notice about him?
He's hard to read, that's for sure.
Yeah. There's something missing for him. Something missing with his art, which is interesting because other people in this building seem to have had some, like the author is doing a big change in genre, and he was almost manic with energy. Obviously, Abigail was doing something that was really full. Tomas had. Did y'all mention you saw something? You.
Yeah, he's got weird paintings in the basement also.
Right, but he's mediocre, but he's actually producing something.
Yeah.
This guy's stunted. It's just different.
Guess it's only a matter of time till that guy dreams too.
Exactly. It makes me wonder if there's a proximity, if there's something happening. We'll see what happens with the next person, right? One more.
Yeah. I'm assuming Van Fitz will make everything more clear.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We'll see if her combative attitude, if it's if that is something that we experience, it would be interesting to see if we rise to meet it, if that will be helpful, or just kind of pay attention and go with your gut. Just don't break someone.
No,
Please.
unless you ask me to.
I don't intend on it, but we'll see.
Okay, so after the interaction with Post in his room, we will jump back to Millstone and Miranda doing a very hearty search in Abigail's room. And I think at about this time, let's have you both roll search rolls to see if we've found anything of note.
40 over 23.
That's a 90 over
All right.
70.
The room is continually sending you on goose chases. It seems like there's almost a purposeful jaunt. You're being forced to go through these lines and pages and items and shopping cart pieces and dentures and chairs. And every time when you get to the X on the map, so to speak, you end up in a place that is either blank or filled with something of absolutely no importance or seemingly any importance. It's frustrating. You are, I assume, very frustrated. It seems very wrong that you would be able to spend as much time as you have spent and not find something of really any interest to you. So, I'm going to have you both make a sand roll for me.
22 under, I believe I'm at 64 right now, or 65. Yeah, 65, so critical success.
Noise. And Miranda?
That is a 53 under 59.
Neither of you lose sand from what seems to be voices whispering through the walls. Sometimes it's laughter. Sometimes it's crying. Sometimes it's shouting. Sometimes it's humming. But it is discernible vocal activity happening through the walls of this room.
So Reed's going to just turn to Miranda and be like, so I know neither of us has said anything about this, but you've been hearing that?
Yeah. I, like you said, I'm trying not to think about it. Humming poster yesterday, whispering today. I don't know what's right, whether it's ignoring this shit or talking about it, but yeah.
I should follow my own advice, huh?
I mean, ignorance only protects you so long. At some point, the rubber meets the road, right?
Thanks for that.
Nothing like a good reminder that you're going to die to really punctuate a sentence. All right. Perhaps cutting back to Meridian and to Merchant. I believe you are making your way to Van Fitz's apartment.
That we are.
Yeah. All right, Merchant. So we're apparently going to deal with the devil here, so if it has to come to physical, I'm ready, all right?
Let's hope it doesn't, but...
No, I'm hoping also because I might break this person.
Everybody has a hobby.
I guess.
I'm just expecting that maybe this person won't be as passive as the other artists in the room, in this building. So perhaps, a little more aggression, a little more you, little less me, might be exactly what the doctor ordered.
You hear, and then the sound of loud footfalls. Not running footfalls, to be clear, loud footfalls. Stomping.
Mm-hmm.
It's stomping.
Stomping.
It's stomping. The door's hinges are tested as the deadbolt, the throw on the deadbolt gets forced into the open position and the door is ripped from its place of rest. There in the door is a mid to late 40s woman with some studious glasses and a bob haircut. She, believe it or not, does not look pleased to make your acquaintance. She says, "Yeah? Oh, who are you?"
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Special Agent Edmund Chamberlain.
I'm going to stop you right there. Where's the warrant?
This is not a search or an arrest, ma'am.
Okay, I don't care then. So I need to know why you're here so I don't close the door on your face.
We're investigating Abigail Wright, ma'am.
I'm investigating a good recipe for fucking tater tots this evening. So I don't really care. Sorry. I tried so hard.
Recipe for tater
I tried
tots,
so
bro.
hard. I had to
Man,
find the food quickly. I don't know.
All I've got so far is potatoes.
All right.
This isn't hard. You get them out of
I'm
the bag.
leaving it.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I
leaving it.
tried so hard. So if you don't know where the warrant is or what your probable cause is here, if there's no injured party, you're going to have to...
Ooh, you have lots of legal terms. Do you have training too?
She's like... She for a moment is beside herself that someone matched her energy and says, yeah, probably more than you have, seeing as how you don't
Wait,
have
you read a book?
She's like, I am very good at reading, unlike whatever that is, and she points to Meridian.
She knows
That
I
man
don't
is a
read.
legal scholar.
She's like, oh, and pigs fly. She's fighting herself at this point to keep the door open. Look, again, I hate that you exist and that you're doing it right there. So can I please close the door?
375, 15 minutes. Tater tots. They come in a bag.
She gives you the fattest bird you've ever seen in your life. So much energy and angst gathered in that middle finger. And then the door slams shut. The deadbolt slams into its locked position.
I put my foot in the way.
Okay.
Ma'am, you've just assaulted a federal officer.
She, okay. Roll. That hurts you. Just to be clear. That door is... It's a holocaust door, but you were not expecting it that hard. It's not great. But it's not...
It's
you're not
gonna
taking
hurt.
any damage.
It's gonna hurt Merchant, but not in the physical sense. But these shoes are probably worth more than the apartment, so they're not fully paid off yet.
She says, yeah, you would make something up while I'm not recording. She's like, don't fucking come in. She's like,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
plan
grab...
on it.
Okay, great. And she goes around the corner into her kitchen. She grabs imagine every single home video reel camera you've seen in your life, and she grabs that and she comes around the corner with it. She's got the little view screen, she's go ahead, make up some shit again, pig.
You can see the mark on my shoe where you slammed the door into my foot, intentionally trying to harm a federal agent. So, as we were saying about Abigail Wright, since you got the camera rolling, you were just about to help us with a missing persons case.
Roll persuade.
Thank goodness. 10 under 40.
She puts the camera down. Not down, she lowers it, rather.
Mhm.
And she says, okay, clearly logic isn't going to work with you, so what do you need to go away?
For you to answer your questions.
Oh, wow. Great, everyone. The ogre has talked. She steps forward a little bit. Okay. She steps close to you, nudging you out of the way and closing the door behind her, and says, okay, go.
Once again, I'm Special Agent Edmund Chamberlain with the FBI, and one of the things I'm curious about is if what your relationship with Abigail Wright was.
Nothing. She was oh so fancy, oh so great, did all her fancy art sales and made beautiful paintings everyone fucking loved, which is what she would do with the amount of privilege that she has. So, next item.
Oh, are you an artist too?
I am. Yes, I am. I'm a creative. I'm not an artist. I'm an author.
Hence the reading comment.
Yeah, real fast on the uptake there. What's next?
It's important to get all the details. You talked about her having a fairly successful art career, sold a lot of paintings. What projects have you been working on?
I really don't think that you actually care about my interests, but since you asked, I am an avid writer and a collector of books. So a lot of projects, but nothing has really come to fruition or come to its final product yet. And honestly, I don't want to talk to you about it.
So you had no real contact with her. Obviously, not a big fan necessarily of her career, but you had very little interaction. Anything
Every so
you
often
noticed
I
about
bumped
her?
into her at the mailboxes or while we were walking to and from apartments. It was very cordial. I said hello. She said hello. I think one time she commented on my shoes, which is what a vapid person like her would do. So no.
Sounds fair enough.
This might sound a bit unorthodox, but we have multiple people in this house, in this apartment building, sorry, that have been having strange dreams or nightmares. Would you be one of these people?
No.
Don't feel any surge of art or inspiration of late?
No. I mean, I think I've had dreams the past couple nights. I didn't know that they were certifying FBI ogres in dream theory, but if you give me your number, I'd be happy to call you as soon as I have an upset tummy in my sleep.
Well, that sounds all good and fascinating. It is not uncommon for people who are around a significant crime scene to experience difficult dreams, and even exposure to certain chemicals like those that the artists use can, in fact, sometimes induce difficult dreams, especially in deep sleep. And we were wondering if there was something possibly contaminating the building itself that might be causing problems and may have actually led to some of the circumstances around Abigail Wright. But you're right. I bet making fun of us will keep you much safer.
Persuade plus 20. The idea that there is a conspiracy in this building that is keeping her sick and down is something that she has latched onto.
31 under 60 with the bonus.
Yeah, that could be. I bet it's radon. Or, God, the water studies. Have you seen the water studies nearby? I walked by a vaccine clinic about a month ago, and I swear to you, as I walked, look, that's unimportant. I think you could be right. Why don't, look, I'll let you come in for a second, just because I want to see if you notice anything inside here as well.
Ma'am, my degrees are in biology and I'm a medical doctor. I'd be happy to help if that's what we can do.
That might be good. All right. What's your name, Ogre? What's your name? I feel kind of bad about Ogre, so I want to get something a little bit better than that.
My full name?
Or I don't care. Your nickname?
It's Agent Baudelaire.
All right, you and Ogre can come inside. She opens the door, brings you in. Stay on the mat. There's a little mat.
I'm not moving.
Yeah, she's like, the mat has a series of cats on a bookshelf, like a doormat. Series of cats on bookshelves. Breathe in and breathe out. I want to know if you notice anything catching, because I feel like I have. Inside, the two of you see that there is tons of books. Probably in the neighborhood of hundreds. Many books. Shelves all over the place. Books on tables. Books on the floor. There's really no limit. They're just really everywhere. The windows are uncovered. There's not books in the windows, but there are books on top of the fridge, on top of the stove. They're everywhere.
2 questions about books.
Mm-hmm.
Variety of age and condition of books. So could be like a rare book collector, not just a hoarder of books.
Okay.
That's question 1.
Okay.
Question 2, dusted. Is there like thick layers of dust over the books? Does she keep it up? Is it fairly clean, or is it uneven? Some areas are dusted or books have been pulled out, put back, and some haven't been.
The first, there are all kinds of books here. There are books that are very new. In fact, you see Night Sea, the book that Karun is famous for, which is only a couple of years old at this point, and books that are from a long time ago based on, you're not a book aficionado, obviously, but based on wear and make, certainly there are books here that are possibly hundreds of years old. Seems to be a collector with a hoarding streak, not the other way around. You can see there's dust on some books on the table. There's some dust on the books that are, resting on top of the fridge maybe. But to gather a pattern from the way that the dust is done or not done, you would need to go look at them and go take some time figuring out what's going on. I just had to get a bunch of little Faraday cage pouches for all of my things, and my radio I keep inside the fridge. It's very important it stays in there. Anyway, do you smell anything, or do you sense anything on you or around you? Either of you. Either one of you. I would even take any. Go ahead.
Would you like me to make a roll? I can roll for science. I can roll for alertness. Whatever.
No.
Okay.
You smell mildew. You smell old building.
Yeah.
You do not. There's zero sense of anything untoward about this building except for the things you already know about.
So at this point, I can't detect anything in the atmosphere, but you said you have Faraday cages around your electronics?
Yes, I do.
We have a technology expert who's working with us who might be able to help if you'll allow us a moment. You will not have to... I'm not asking to take this stuff. I'm asking... Our expert is downstairs.
Sure, I will meet the expert and speak with them outside my apartment.
Of course. Agent, could you fetch our tech expert, please?
Yeah, sure.
Agent Cardholder?
You know, I think a better nickname might be Dog.
Yeah, fetch, ogre, fetch.
Are you gonna fetch?
Agent Meridian is imagining
Right.
imagining so many ways to snap this woman's neck right now.
Yeah, reasonable. I think that's reasonable. You go back into Abigail's apartment.
All right, Miranda, kind of need your help upstairs. Merchant needs you. There's some cages around some electronics. I'm not sure. I guess I could cover for you in the meantime. Lady upstairs, she's well, let's put it mildly, she's a bit of a cunt. So, yeah, just don't blow your fuse at her. I'll cover for you in the meantime.
Got it. Well, I'll try to keep my cool.
I mean, if things are hostile up there, I think you should probably, go up with them. I can hold it down here.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good. The walls are just whispering. It's fine. I got it. Don't worry about me.
Whispering.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
The two of you make your way upstairs to Van Fitz's apartment. The door is open a little bit, the way that you left it. And you can both hear from inside that Merchant is saying things like, yeah, mm-hmm. No, I definitely agree, yes, uh-huh. And that's valuable, it is. Uh-huh. And she's just really letting off about a lot of things, most of which are deeply political, deeply unfounded, and deeply ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I heard someone needed some help with... Was there a Faraday cage installation question?
She sees you and her face lights up. Oh my God, it's about time. Waves you in. She's like, so I'm very glad that they called you over here. I have been feeling something heavy in my upper chest area across the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And she begins talking to you about the feeling she's having and how she's installed Faraday cages in all the appropriate places, whether as pouches or impromptu, putting them in places she thinks would block all signals, and walks you around the apartment.
My goal is primarily to observe here, right? Like,
okay.
I don't think I'm going to make any headway into the swamp she has created in her mind, but I can certainly, look through the physical stuff she's got hanging around.
She does lay a nice boundary for Meridian to say, still definitely cannot come in here. But when she goes to Merchant, she kind of says, like, Doctor, just please don't touch anything. And continues with Miranda. Seemingly having some amount of carte blanche, what are you focusing on searching for or looking for, Merchant?
So I am going to be looking for evidence of her projects, whether books of a similar genre that are stacked together, have been read recently, appear to be in the kind of active place, or writings, notebook stuff that's left open, word processor, if that's what she does, typewriter. I'm just looking for her projects.
What's your... No, roll search. This is important. Roll search. What's your alertness, Miranda?
My alertness is a 40.
All right. I don't think that Miranda is actively searching. I think she's just seeing where she's moving. So that's why I asked.
She's observing, yeah.
Yeah.
Her job here is to be a distraction.
Yeah.
She's picked up on that pretty quickly.
Well, how was that search roll?
16, and that's under 40.
The less interesting thing in the apartment, or things, we'll go with Miranda first. She's walking you around. Her apartment seems to be normal, with the occasional eccentric item or moment or thing or writing, that seems to match her general demeanor. I'm not going to go into too much depth there. I'll let the listeners complete that for themselves at home. But you notice one thing interestingly. As she opens her fridge to show you the radio that she's placed in there because she believes it's communicating actively, she's got a decent amount of goods in there. But you see that there's a carton of eggs on the shelf, on the fridge shelf door when you open the door, that it looks like the date on it says maybe March 2nd or maybe it's February 3rd, but it's certainly not August. That's really the only thing you see. Did you want to try to do something while you are looking at the radio in the fridge?
I make a passing comment about how, the newer fridges, they're not as thick. They used to build fridges so thick they say you could like hide inside them in the event of a bomb blast. But the new ones are all shitty insulation foam. You're lucky it's an old building too, because old buildings like this have much thicker walls, generally a lot fewer sources of those high energy EMF waves that you're worried about here.
That makes sense.
One of the things I noticed is that there's a lot of ambient noise here in the building. Have you noticed any of that? Like
yes, I have.
Kind of whispering or any humming noises, anything like that?
Oh no, nothing like that. Usually at night when I've got my favorite book and I sit back and I read, I seem to hear somebody running, just foot stomping up the stairs late at night. They just run up the stairs, and I don't know who it is. I'm not sure if it couldn't have been right because it's still happening. She's gone. She's missing. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it's that boy Post, but I don't think so because he has no reason to go upstairs. He's already
upstairs
up there.
Towards the
second floor.
The second floor. I see. And then the other, this is a little bit sillier. We've been at it all day long. I was wondering what's good to eat around here. We're busy in Abigail's all day long cataloging, but what do you do for food?
Usually there's a very nice Greek restaurant that is just around the corner. If you go west, and she gives you directions to the nice Greek place that she enjoys going to. Very good. Very good. Very nice.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. One other thing. We did hear about this New Year's party Abigail threw. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
I usually get pretty enthralled when I read, so I don't think so.
I see.
No, I didn't hear anything. If it was late at night, I'm sure I was deep in my book.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I have to say you've done a really wonderful job here, making your home secure. If you ever want any, any help with uninstalling maybe some of the phones or any of the built-in building things while you're here, just let me know. I'm happy to nip over and help you out if that's something you're interested in.
Oh, super. That would be great. Wow. Let me write down my number for you when she writes down a number. At about that time, you have been kind of side-eyeing and watching Merchant do his searches. And at about that time, you see as she's writing her phone number down, he is grabbing a book off her shelf. And he kind of gives you the look and starts to slowly maybe tiptoe backwards out of the apartment. Cutting to Merchant in a way that makes more sense as you see Miranda over here walking around talking to Van Pitts. You take a look around and see the dust patterns. You look and see if there are certain books that are like shelves that seem to be more well-worn. You look for places that there are bookends that haven't been moved in a while, clearly. And you come to a book that is called A World Without Doors. The book is very well-worn. It sits by itself on the table near a window. There are a bunch of other stacks of books that seem to be not well dusted, but the one that is sitting by itself and has clearly been opened, there's no dust on this thing, is this book, A World Without Doors. The cover depicts a cityscape. It's a red cover, cityscape on the bottom, and there's these really interesting trees that are upside down. So the ceiling has these trees growing, and then there's a castle as well. So imagine the castle and trees are upside down on the top, and the city's right side up on the bottom.
Why am I suddenly getting the feeling I wish I fumbled that search roll?
So this book, it's certainly the reason you want to see it and you want to pick it up and take it. At first, there's this genuine curiosity that comes across you. This is the only book that seems to be actively read consistently. It's got spills, coffee stains, and things on the pages. It looks nice. It looks like there's gold filigree, and it looks like it's actually maybe real gold. But as you get closer to it, and as you maybe open the cover even a little bit, you get the feeling that this is something important. Something that is running directly adjacent to something going on here. This is a key. It feels like a key, an answer, maybe a finish or an end. Very much like you have no choice but to pocket this thing
right.
and make a move. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I'll definitely slide it into my coat, kind of tiptoe out, and then at the door kind of call back and be like, "Ma'am, thank you so much for your time. We really have to be continuing our investigation. Agent Cardholder, let's leave this nice lady to her work."
Absolutely.
She thanks you both. Certainly does not catch the book heist and bids you adieu. She even gives a little shoulder pat to Ogre and says, "I'm sorry. I'm sure you have a name. I'm kind of rude sometimes, but I'm glad you came over." And just dripping with falsity pushes you out the door. At this point, while this has been happening, Reed has still been doing the search. Milson has still been doing the search. Finishes his break, gets up, feels a new motivation, feels like he is focused and he wants to get to the bottom of something here. And so he does. He searches very hard and long. And so let's have Reed make a search check, a search roll, please.
82. Over.
Yeah. Reed searches for a while, and Reed swears that he can see and even hear the sun going down outside. Here's the groan and the large activity outside get quieter and quieter, and hear New York beginning its bedtime routine. All of you come back and do some amount of searching, certainly, and so why don't we also have all of you roll search as well.
87 over 22.
52 over 40.
11 under 23.
I imagine when you come back, Merchant kind of takes you in a little huddle, does the all right, everyone, here's the procedure. We're going to find something at some point. I've done this before. It'll be okay. And you all do a little break and move away and do your searching. The hours that follow are frustrating and concerning, and all of the negative feelings you've all been really feeling while searching as you've searched these 2 days. But just as you all see the sun dipping below the horizon, Miranda finds something. Miranda, you, on the wall, you find an airplane ticket, or what you believe is an airplane ticket. This airplane ticket, the reason I mention it like that is because it looks very modern. It looks very new age. It does not look like a normal airline ticket. And you've flown a decent amount as a human. Nothing fancy, I'm sure, but it does not look normal. It does have a brand. The brand on it is United. It is a United airplane ticket. It has the name Michael Whitwer on it. There's an airline flight number as usual. There's a date, which is 6 June 2015. There is a gate of D15, boarding time of 12:55, a seat, what seems to be some writing, maybe some numbers, looks like maybe 95671. It's written in pen on the ticket. The flight is from LAS, which for those who aren't aware is Las Vegas Airport, to Boston, BOS.
Hey, I've got a ticket here, another object with a chronological, I don't know, man.
Inconsistency.
Inconsistency, exactly. It's for 6th of June, 2015. And I don't don't know that the airlines are in the habit of holding a ticket for 20 years, let alone assigning a seat 20 years out.
Let me see it.
Here, come over here. It's in
What the?
grid 13. This spot over here, top left. You see it just behind that little doll head?
Yeah. It looks used.
I mean, it looks
I've never seen
weathered,
printing
written on
like that on an airline. I've never seen a ticket that looks like that.
Yeah, me neither. The logos. I mean, the logo's all wrong too. So, I guess we should pull that and see if we can find a Mike Whitwer and any of the. We can do some digging around. See if anyone knows about him.
Write the name down. Let me see if I can get it off without damaging it.
I mean, if you just get the shreds, I think that's fine. We can tape it back together. It doesn't need to be in one piece to be effective.
Reed takes out his camera and instead of destroying the ticket, he first takes a picture of it, so at least he has one document of this that has its full integrity. And then he goes to see if he can get it off without damaging it too badly.
Luck, please.
31.
You in fact get the ticket off the wall. A little bit of paper like layer stayed on the wall, but it's all there.
Yeah, some of the legal print on the back is kind of peeled off.
Yeah.
I don't care about the law.
That's right. Just like what Bree
I mean,
saying.
probably that fine print would be extremely interesting. So a little bit unfortunate, but we take what we can get.
At about this time, I would say it's probably around 8 or 8:30. You were all kind of in your respective areas of the room dealing with the day. It's not overt. No one's crying or like talking out loud, but everybody's kind of reconciling what's gone on today and trying to piece together what it all means, what all this is. Are we safe? Are we not safe? Are people safe? Does it matter if we're safe? Is it contained? Did it get out? All these thoughts you're having to yourself. Yeah, and Reed, you definitely hear something in the hallway outside Abigail's room.
What do I hear?
Sounds like running feet.
Reed, just for the sake of security, he doesn't think too much of it. It's probably a resident, but he's going to go check it out anyway, just poke his head out the door and see what's going on.
The person that you have not met, but know not to be Manuel, and so by process of elimination, probably Karoon, is standing outside his door. He looks like he has just ran from somewhere. He's breathing heavily and he's got some sweat coming through his dress shirt. And he's holding a stuffed animal that Reed has definitely seen before. It's very relevant, and Reed knows that thing. He's seen that. And the man there has it in his arms, kind of like a football. He's got it nestled. The two of you lock eyes for a moment.
Reed's just like, hiya. And then his eyes kind of move down and register what he's got there.
A blue stuffed cat. Stuffed
Under
animal
his breath,
cat.
he's just like, Fini? Is that Fini?
The-
Hey, where the fuck did you get that?
He returns only a frenzied glare as he runs upstairs.
Hey, asshole, I'm talking to you. Where the fuck did you get that? Reed runs after him.
Everybody else? Following?
Yeah,
Not following?
Following, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right. Merchant is? Okay.
Yeah, Reed's booking
Yeah,
it
Merchant
after
will
this
follow.
guy.
Okay. You book it to the staircase in the kind of the middle of the building, as we talked about before, and you see him rounding the corner, going up another flight of stairs. So he's on the first floor, he's going around. But you're keeping good pace. You're moving with him pretty well. It's not the Olympics. You're two people running, and you run.
It's not a long enough chase for chase rules.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, so it's not that difficult. There's no rolls involved here. The rest of you are a couple of feet behind because you didn't start the chase at the same time. But again, everyone's keeping pace perfectly well. You see him get up to the first flight of stairs. Sorry, the first floor rather. Rounds the corner. You follow him. Rounds the corner. He gets up to the second floor, which is the one that's empty. There's no one on that floor, and he runs up to the roof door you see now, and you've kind of gotten up on that second floor and you're seeing him now. He's at the door to the roof, and you lock eyes again, and he looks not concerned. He doesn't look like he's being chased. He looks like he is guiding, which is extremely worrisome to you.
You better stop right there, asshole.
Does Reed have his
I got
gun
some
out?
fucking questions for you.
No gun out, right? Or does Reed have his gun out?
Not yet.
Okay, all right. He just looks at you for a second, gives a very quick, grin, and he opens that door, runs out onto the roof, and closes it behind him.
Reed trains his hand on his pistol. He's not pulling it out yet, but it's going under his jacket, and he's ready to pull it out.
Everybody
He does not check to see if anyone's behind him. He just goes straight for the door.
Everybody has arrived at this point, unless you'd like to not have arrived. The whole party is here. Crew's here. Just briefly, real quick, there's not much time in this moment either. So what are we doing? Starting up with
I'll pull out my Glock 17 and I put my hand on Reed's shoulder, telling him I got him.
signifying that you're there. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Merchant will reach into his pocket and pull out his one-shot use of chemical agent.
Miranda looks at everything that's happening and goes, "Oh shit!" And she steps back for a second and just turns around and posts up at the top of the stairs, glancing back over her shoulder at this scene as she sort of just stands lookout at the top of the stairs, looking back down towards the rest of the building.
Hand on the door. Is Reed gonna go and open it and go out and find this guy?
It's a push door, right? Like one of those mechanical release. Yeah. Yeah, Reed's fucking slamming it.
Reed
Busting that door open.
slams open the door, expecting open air. Instead, warm lamplight, cigar smoke, and a man pouring a drink behind a bar. He pauses mid-pour and says, "Who the fuck are you?" And that's where we'll end this session and pick up next week.
Oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Don't like that. Don't like that
That's
at
not a
all.
roof.
Mm-hmm.
That's no roof.
Where's the
Okay.
roof, sir? Okay.
I was promised roof.
So that's where we'll pick up. Very exciting. Perhaps we'll get a roof reveal at some point. Maybe our patrons will get roof reveal. We haven't
Roof
decided
reveal
yet.
1.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Make it a trilogy. Anyway, this show exists on people's support, on your support. So if you feel so inclined, we would love it if you'd like and share, hit the bell or whatever. Do all those things. It would mean a lot to us. Give the show to somebody else. Share this experience with them. We like sharing it. We'd love it if you did too. So,
And if by any means, if you want to check us out on Patreon, but we would also, even if you're not looking to join our Patreon right now, we would love to hear from you in terms of what it is you would like to see as a Patreon benefit. We want to we want to provide value and make the Patreon something you want to be a part of. So please, if you've got feedback for us, let us know. We're new. We're just hashing this out as we go. So yeah, reach out. We're all very active online and we look at all our comments. So hit us up.
don't recommend roof reveal. That's already on our list. So
Yeah, we're
that's
on
already
the roof reveal, okay?
Yep.
So stop bringing it up.
correct. Everyone, stop bringing it up. We will see you all next week. It was good to see you. Bye now.
Peace, y'all.
Bye.
Drink at the water. Before we sign off, I want to take a moment to talk about something very close to my heart. This podcast is about exploring darkness and fear, but in real life, those feelings can be overwhelming. I want to remind you that if you're feeling lost, lonely, or struggling, you don't have to face it alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're in the U.S., you can call or text 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, for free, confidential support 24/7. Wherever you are, there are resources and there is hope. You matter and your story matters. We'll see you all next week.